Overnight, Iranian retaliatory strikes hit the United Arab Emirates, damaging key sites in Abu Dhabi.
Understanding Dubai has been pretty isolated for the most part, but it's still a scary situation. Right now, from what we understand, there's a indefinite, they closed the airspace indefinitely.
In a shocking escalation of conflict in the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, a country known for its stability, luxury tourism, and global business hub, has today witnessed direct impacts from the ongoing Iran-related conflict that has erupted across the region. Over the last 24 hours, Iranian missile and drone strikes have targeted multiple locations across the Gulf, with Dubai International Airport and the world-famous Burj Al Arab hotel suffering damage in the retaliatory attacks. This development marks a dramatic shift in the war's geography, extending beyond traditional conflict zones in Iraq, Syria, or Israel into some of the region's most internationally visible landmarks and infrastructure. Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest travel hubs on the planet, was hit by incoming Iranian projectiles early Sunday morning. While most commercial flights had already been grounded due to earlier airspace closures, official UAE aviation authorities confirmed that parts of the airport, specifically one of its concourses, sustained damage following an impact. Thankfully, the injuries reported were not life-threatening, with 4 airport staff members injured during the incident. Simultaneously, debris from intercepted Iranian drones or missiles struck the iconic Burj Al Arab hotel, triggering a fire that broke out on the exterior facade. Emergency services rushed to control the blaze, and authorities later confirmed that the fire had been contained. This visible damage to Dubai's skyline sent shockwaves not only through the UAE, but around the world, symbolizing just how far the regional conflict has rippled. In this opening chapter, we'll walk through the very first reports, eyewitness reactions, and the immediate local and global responses to this unprecedented moment. To understand how the UAE, which has largely stayed neutral and commercially focused in recent years, became part of this conflict's battlefield, we have to retrace the chain of events that led up to this moment. The current confrontation traces back to major U.S. and Israeli military strikes against Iranian targets following months of heightened tensions. In retaliation, Iran launched an extensive series of missile and drone attacks across multiple nations, including Gulf Arab states such as the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Oman. On February 28th and into March 1st, 2026, Iran fired hundreds of weapons, including ballistic missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, aiming to hit military and strategic sites across the region. UAE air defenses intercepted the vast majority of launchers, but debris from intercepts and falling fragments still caused damage in several areas, leading to fires and structural harm. Specifically in Dubai. Dubai International Airport's Terminal 3 was struck, with smoke seen rising over sections of the complex. 4 workers were injured. A fire ignited on the outer facade of Burj Al Arab, the sail-shaped luxury hotel synonymous with Dubai's global image. Additional fires were reported near upscale hotels on Palm Jumeirah, a man-made island. Parts of Jebel Ali Port, one of the world's busiest shipping hubs, were also affected by falling debris. Despite UAE authorities asserting that air defenses successfully protected most of the city's population and infrastructure, the psychological impact of the strikes near civilian zones and globally recognizable landmarks is profound. This chapter provides a minute-by-minute breakdown, reconstructed from verified reports and eyewitness footage, to give you a clear timeline of how these attacks unfolded and what physical effects they had on these major UAE institutions. At first glance, Dubai may seem an unlikely target in a geopolitical showdown between Iran and Western allies. So why did this happen? Let's unpack the strategic context. The recent escalation began when coordinated U.S. and Israeli strikes targeted key Iranian military sites in response to threats posed by Iran's advance on nuclear capabilities and regional proxies. Authorities in Tehran vowed retaliation, and in the days that followed, Iran launched attacks against multiple neighboring countries that host U.S. military assets or are allied with Western powers. The UAE, despite a long-standing position of relative neutrality, has strong defense ties with the U.S. and Western nations, including hosting military logistics and air support facilities. Iran's strategy appears to have shifted to applying economic and psychological pressure on Gulf states by targeting hubs of commerce and travel that are integral to global connectivity. Dubai International Airport, in particular, serves as a major crossroads between East and West. Any extended disruption here not only affects the local economy, but also global airline routes, cargo movement, and international business flows, effectively amplifying the consequences of the conflict far beyond the Gulf. Similarly, the Burj Al Arab isn't just a tourist destination, it's an international symbol of Dubai's prosperity and soft power. In military strategy, symbolically striking such landmarks, whether intentional or collateral, can be interpreted as a psychological tactic designed to erode confidence and demonstrate reach. In this chapter, we'll include expert geopolitical commentary on why Iran's targeting appears to have shifted to civilian-linked infrastructure, the regional motivations behind it, and the broader implications for the Middle East's political map.
News of the damage to Dubai's airport and the Burj Al Arab ignited immediate reactions from local leaders, emergency responders, world governments, and average civilians. In the UAE, authorities moved swiftly to reassure residents and visitors alike that strong air defense systems had intercepted the majority of incoming threats, preventing catastrophic outcomes. Emergency services evacuated impacted areas, began repair work, and contained all fires quickly. Officials stressed that public safety remains their top priority. Globally, governments expressed varied responses. Western nations, aligned with U.S. and Israeli defense strategies, expressed regret over civilian-linked damage and reiterated support for their Gulf allies. Meanwhile, other regional players voiced concern about the war's expansion, cautioning against escalation that could destabilize the entire Middle East. On social media, footage circulated of smoke rising from Dubai's skyline, with witnesses describing scenes of panic and evacuation. Many airline passengers shared their stories of disrupted flights and sudden closures of airspace, with thousands left stranded as flights were canceled or rerouted. This chapter will feature quotes from government spokespeople, clips from live reactions around the world, and expert analysis on how such strikes transform public perception, both locally and internationally. We'll also explore diplomatic consequences, such as statements from organizations like the Arab League and UN Security Council reactions.
With Dubai's airport and icons now caught in the crossfire, the question many around the world are asking is, what happens next? The immediate short-term outlook indicates that airspace over parts of the Middle East may remain closed as long as the conflict persists, which could mean prolonged disruptions for international travel and trade. Airlines may reroute flights around the Gulf entirely, potentially increasing travel times and global aviation costs. Economically, the UAE could face challenges. Dubai's tourism sector, a vital source of revenue, depends on global confidence in safety and stability. Continued threats or incidents could discourage travelers and investors, impacting jobs and business performance. Yet there is also resilience. The UAE has positioned itself over decades as a center for global commerce and cultural exchange. As a result, local authorities remain committed to keeping critical infrastructure secure and restoring normal operations as soon as it is safe to do so. There are also negotiations underway for ceasefires in different parts of the conflict, and world leaders continue to call for restraint and de-escalation. This final chapter will delve into long-term geopolitical implications, aviation industry projections, economic forecasts for the UAE, potential diplomatic pathways to peace. We'll conclude the video with expert predictions and a thoughtful reflection on how this moment may redefine regional security for years to come.